everybody. Do you want to see what happens to your blood when you use your iPhone or your smartphone or your smart pad? If you sit in front of a router, if it's by the television or in your office, or even when you're using a smart watch to monitor your steps, or you're using it at the gym to monitor your heart rate, etc. I want to show you how these EMFs affect your blood at cellular level. And I also want to show you how by using special protection with the Photonic Shield and the Photonic Square, how it actually improves your blood. And I was blown away when I did these experiments. So I want to share this with you straight away. So the Photonic Shields and the Photonic Squares actually protect your blood from EMF danger. And it really is EMF danger, and I'll go on to explain in a bit more detail. But the Photonic Square and the Photonic Shield, what they do is they harmonize the frequencies, and they actually protect your cells from damage and disruption caused by EMF radiation, basically. And the reason we're able to see this is because what we're doing is we're taking a drop of blood from test subjects before, during, and after the use of EMFs, and also the use of the protection devices from Photonic. And basically, we just take a pinprick of blood and we put that under the microscope in 3 different stages. And the devices that we tested, as I said, was a smartphone, a smart pad, a router, and a smart watch. And the test procedure was quite standard. The test subject will arrive, and we had a room orientation phase where that person did not come into any contact with any EMFs, and we took a blood sample. And this was our baseline. Then the test subject would use the device for 20 minutes, and then we'd do another blood sample, which I'm going to show you how the results were. And then the third part of the test was using a device again, but with one of the photonic protection devices, and then looking at the blood again. And it's absolutely fascinating, the results. So the first test we did was on a smartphone. So as I said, the test subject arrived, and after 1 hour of a room orientation phase, no EMFs, we can see the blood. And this is the first sample. Now, when we're looking at blood, we want them to be lovely. These little bubbles you can see, these are your red blood cells. And we want them to be lovely and round with a lovely smooth membrane edge, so they don't get attracted to each other. They don't stick and clot together. They can whiz around the body, delivering oxygen, delivering nutrients, and taking away waste products. And this is the basis of our health. Our red blood cells are the basis of our health. They're the river of our life, right? If they're performing well for us, then our health as well. You could be giving all the nutrients you want to your body, but if we have an issue with blood flow, then those nutrients aren't going to get to tissue. So this test subject had a lovely blood to begin with, all very calm and nice and flowing, and just how we would want blood to look. Then the test subject was asked to go on her phone for 20 minutes. And we asked her to put the phone to her ear as well. So we have a really close contact with the phone. And this was the test subject's blood after 20 minutes. Now, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to see the difference. You can see that now the blood has become agglutinated. There's erythrocyte aggregation, that red blood cells aggregated together. We call this red blood cell cohesion. And the blood is sticky, it's not flowing. And also you'll see that the red blood cells themselves, where we had a lovely smooth membrane edge on the outside, have now become ragged and rugged. So there's disruption at cellular level. And again, a lot of stickiness and attraction with the red blood cells. Now it takes the red blood cells 7 to 8 microns in diameter and size, and the capillary is roughly 3 to 4 microns. So we need our red blood cells to be individual, to be whizzing around the body, doing the job they need to do without being clumped together, because otherwise we're going to have lots of symptoms, which I'm going to be coming on to. So this test subject was then asked to go back on her phone for 20 minutes but to put the photonic square behind the phone while she was using it. You can put it into the cover of your phone. And 20 minutes later, this was her blood. So as you can see, this square has totally protected her blood, her system, from the EMFs, which is quite outstanding. We did another test with a router. So again, the test subject arrived. We had a room orientation phase. Test subject blood was analyzed, and it's good blood again, where we've got erythrocytes not sticking together, lovely smooth membrane edges. The blood was flowing, very healthy sample. Then we asked the test subject to sit in front of a router for 20 minutes, roughly 1.5 feet away, and we tested the test subject's blood. And this is what we found. So again, the blood was very attracted to each other, sticking together. And in fact, the router was probably worse because you can see there was severe clumping of the red blood cells across the sample. Again, we asked the test subject to sit in front of the router, but this time to put the photonic shield into his pocket. And this was the test results. And in fact, the results from this test subject, the blood actually improved beyond the baseline. It looked, the membranes looked far stronger, in fact, and the blood was flowing even better. And that was just 20 minutes using the Photonic Shield. The third test we did was with the smart pad. These are the first examples of the test subject, the baseline, very good blood to start off with, no red blood cell cohesion or sticking together. Then we asked the test subject to just go on her smart pad for 20 minutes, just work on it. And after 20 minutes, we took another sample. And as you can see, her blood sample was stacking together of the red blood cells. We call this rouleau, so it's like a clumping together. Total disruption of the blood at cellular level. And then we asked the test subject to repeat what she did, but to put the photonic square in front of the iPad or the smart pad. And this was her result after 20 minutes. And again, her blood improved beyond baseline. So the blood was flowing even better. And the fourth test we did was with the smartwatch. This is probably the most interesting test of all, because this was the baseline of the test subject. Lovely flowing blood, not sticking together, healthy blood. And then the test subject just literally put the watch on her wrist and was interacting with the watch for 20 minutes. And this is the blood at that point. I was shocked by this one because this was the most severely aggregated blood out of all the samples. And I believe this is because the actual device came into contact with her blood. Now, we asked her to do the same test, but to put the photonic shield in her pocket. And again, the blood returned to normal, but actually improved beyond baseline. Now, I found these tests quite phenomenal, and I'm pretty sure you did as well. EMF radiation is not only in our devices, but it's all around us. We've got cell towers outside. Even if we don't have a router in our home, our neighbors will probably have a router, and that will be coming into our home as well. Every business premises we go into, every shop has Wi-Fi. And we all know that we've heard talk of these 50,000 wireless satellites that are soon to cover Earth with this microwave. So we really need to be looking at solutions as to how we can protect ourselves. And people say, well, why do EMFs harm us? How do they harm our health? Well, the reason is that humans are actually an electromagnetic being, okay? Every cell in our body pulses with electricity, and the body runs on electrical impulses. And what happens is these unnatural or man-made radiations actually disrupt our electrical charge. We have a biofield around us that goes out 6 feet, and every single organ, every single cell, every single bit of tissue in our body has its own electrical pulse. So everything about us is electrical. And when we're disrupted by these unnatural EMF frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies, they disrupt our electrical charge. And this is what's causing the problem. Now, we've all seen pictures over the years of how these sort of iPhones or these mobile phones affect our health of the head. Basically, and the younger we are, the worse it is putting a phone to the head. But we know now that it's not just affecting the area where the device is being held, even though it is causing a lot of damage, the radio waves in specific areas. It takes a red blood cell 1 minute to whiz around the body. So no matter where the device is, whether it's behind us, in front of us, on us, it's affecting all of our blood cells, as we've seen. And the type of damage that can be done, or the symptoms caused by the damage, are quite pernicious. We may not realize it's being caused by EMFs. So we may have sleep problems. Definitely stress and anxiety is a huge one caused by EMFs. Ringing in the ears. I have a lot of clients who have tinnitus, and more so now than ever before. And I do believe it's to do with this uptick in devices and EMFs that are everywhere now, no matter where we go and wherever we travel. Brain fog is a huge one. And basically depression as well, just feeling low, just feeling, not great. But the trouble is that when our red blood cells are coagulated like this, we're not delivering the oxygen to our brain, to our tissue. And it's just causing a lot of these symptoms. And there's like hundreds and thousands of studies now proving all of this. It's not just imaginary. We know now that these EMFs do affect our health. And as I said, EMFs are very smart. We have these smart devices, but really they are smart, and they are the silent enemy that kind of attack us undercover. And the reason that we have sort of low energy can be due to the mitochondrial damage that these EMFs do at cellular level. We've seen the free radical damage. Free radical damage is when the outside of the red blood cells start to pucker. And it's not only the outside of the cells that will be damaged by the EMFs. Constant bombardment with EMFs can also affect the DNA, and this can go on to lead to health problems down the line. These EMFs affect our hormones. And we all know that, if it's affecting our melatonin, which is our sleep hormone for our circadian rhythm, then that's one of the reasons why we have problems sleeping after being on our devices. And as I said, the circulation, the brain fog, and the low mood. And also, it's been proven that the EMFs affect our immunity because they have the ability to decrease our white blood cell count. So it's like, for a number of reasons, we really need to be looking at solutions as to how we can protect ourselves, because we can't, in the modern world, if we live in a Western city, we can't get away from these EMFs. So really everybody needs to look at solutions, and the best way for that is to have a device that you have on you all the time. Because a lot of people don't realize that these EMFs are affecting our health, and they'll go to the doctor, and the doctor will just give them more medication. I mean, how many of you have your medication just going up and up and up? I know so many clients who come to me are on at least 5 or 6 different medications. So we really need to be looking at solutions and how we can best protect our body from, all areas, and especially from the EMFs. And just going back to the photonic square and the photonic shield, they harmonize this, they smooth out the biofield basically around us, and they harmonize the negative frequencies and provide protection from the damage or disruption that we've seen that EMFs can cause at cellular level. So I hope that's helped to help you understand a bit more as to why such devices are so important for you to be carrying on your person on a daily basis. You can even take these cards to bed with you to protect you. Just have them on you the whole time. Put one under your pillow. You sleep like a baby when you use these products. They completely and utterly harmonize the frequencies around you. So I hope you found that interesting, and I hope you go ahead and look to purchase the photonic plates, because they are just absolutely amazing. Okay,